What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rippaverse NRT. This is going to be a chill stream tonight. Just a Friday hangout session. Don't have much going on. Just trying to come on here and talk a little bit. So, what's up? Well, I did want to talk about this because I noticed it and I made a comment about it earlier. But apparently, Cards Against Humanity thinks we suck if we live in a certain states: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Yeah, they think that we suck because we live there. So they set up a fund for abortion, right? And then they decided to ask questions to people that lived here. And I don't guess they like the answers they got about that. Because at the end of it, they say, for the love of God, don't forget to vote. Because they ask questions to people in these states. And the thing about the people in these states are, well, most of us are Southern. We're very Southern. We don't believe in killing babies. So, just getting that out there. Like, it don't matter when you have a child. That's why the strictest abortion laws exist here in these states beforehand. Now they're completely abolished. You can't even get an abortion, but other than through the 1%, the less than 1% reasons. So, but yeah, Cards Against Humanity thinks you suck. So, what's up, Sam? Yeah, right. What's up, guys? Joker? Yeah. So, I figured I'd let y'all know about that in case y'all missed it on Twitter, because it's funny as hell. But, yeah. What's up, Eric? Yeah, so, Cards Against Humanity thinks you suck. Well, guess what? I've already got all the Cards Against Humanity cards I'm ever going to buy, which I didn't. I didn't buy them in the first place. They're a friend has them, but like we only bought the one set. You know, I don't need your shitty game, bro. Hate to tell you. Yeah, like hate to tell you, but don't need your shitty game, bro. Like we don't need your shit in this state. Go fuck yourself. What's up, Sam? Oh yeah, you it's early morning for you, ain't it, man? You over in Australia. So, what do y'all think about the logo being up top now? Questions, comments? What's up, hell? Yeah, what do y'all think about the logo? Or the fucking words are hard right now. They'll be harder tomorrow. That's what she said. But yeah. So the slogan, I should say, our slogan being up top now. Like, yeah, they don't understand, and just like most of them don't fucking understand, they're going to try to shit on us and try to, you know. Okay, it's 9:56. It ain't that early for you then, man. It's just normally we start a little early for you. Which you're welcome to come on here and talk if you want, Sam. I know you've been you were the one who mentioned it first about bringing in a co-host, so if you want to come on in and talk to us, man, you're welcome to. Like I said, this is just going to be a chill stream. I'm not really doing anything tonight. I was going to bitch about Lord of the Rings some more. Or maybe Resident Evil. I did change one of the tags in this to be the Rings of Power, so let's see how that helps the algorithm over the next week or so. I may confuse it having Rippaverse and Rings of Power. We will have Guild of Calamitous Intent shirts next week. By the way, we'll have some merch next week. So, if y'all want to order some of that, we will have some merch next week. I'm gonna go in and make that tomorrow when I get here. I got to do a lot of running around tomorrow. I go to work at my part-time job, and then I go to this charity thing for this little girl where I'm going to be in costume for about 3 hours, cooking, just dying in that costume, but it's worth it. And then I will be here, and I will probably have to pass out for about an hour. What's up, Abomination AJ? What's up, man? Yeah, I was just talking about that damn Cards Against Humanity thing. But yeah, we will have guild merchandise for real, starting next week. If anybody wants to come on here and talk tonight, man, I've got a couple hours. So, if y'all want to come on and do a show, let me know. We'll get you on. For sure. Just, well, my phone just died. So, hell, if you will control the links there, buddy. Drop the Nightbot stuff. So yeah, not really a lot to talk about today though. You know, we're still waiting on some stuff to come out about Rippaverse, some content videos that he's gonna do, and then really looking. Yeah, I don't care enough about anything that's happening in Marvel or DC to talk about it. Really, because fuck them, you know. Alright. Yeah. So, we're just, sitting here killing time, guys. I haven't made any new memes, so I'm not gonna showcase those tonight. I don't know how much fan art we have for next week for the showcase. I gotta check and see if we can do it, if we've got enough to do a showcase now, because that's one of the things that I really want to do again is the fan art showcase. So I'll have to check on that and see if we've got enough. Apparently I am, man. But like I said, I took my book and I watched it scene for scene, right? So I was comparing it. I may have to go back and watch it to see if I still feel that way, because I was watching it at 3 a.m. Okay, so I was kind of delirious when I was watching it anyway. But I still like it, as far as I can tell you. Like I don't like the race swaps or the gender swaps, but I understand one of them. I do understand one of them. It does make sense. The rest of them, that's Netflix being Netflix. And I said I was willing to look over it as long as the story matched one for one, and it does pretty much. So it's really, really close. So I may be the only one. I may be. But like I also said, like, it's not for like, they can say you can't gatekeep Sandman. Sandman does a pretty good job of gatekeeping itself, right? So it is progressive. I will give it that word. It is progressive because it was written in the 80s. So all the stuff that people are viewing as woke is because it's a story from the 80s that had that stuff in it. So it was way ahead of its time as far as that goes. But like I said, I can't give it full on woke because it's not intentional. You know what I mean? Like it is. That's how the story was written. Other than the race swaps and stuff. Now that's full on woke. But you know, like I said, I may be the only one that likes Sandman. That might be that's my lowest rated video. It's still up though. But yeah, anybody want to come on and talk? Like I have murdered my voice the past week, so oh, hold on. I got a message from Megatonic. Let me check this real quick. Okay, yeah, Megatonic's gonna join us next Thursday, so that'll be cool. You drawing right now? All right, man. How about it, Hell? You gonna come on here? No, all right. Who else we got in the chat? Anybody want to come on? You're welcome to. Yeah. How about it, AJ? You want to come on the chat? You want to come on the show? We could simulcast this bitch. Oh shit. My damn desk about to fall over. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but my bookshelf has fallen backwards. So it's it's kind of like half-ass leaning. And I don't want to move it because I'll knock every fucking thing off of it when I do. But, yeah. Like I said, I got nothing going on tonight. We just sitting here talking. And, waiting on some Rippaverse news. Or Lord of the Rings, whichever one comes first. But let's see. What other news we got? I got the merchandise coming out. The Guild of Calamitous Intent merchandise. What do y'all want? Shirts, hats, what? Alright, man. Have a good one. Yeah, you can. But thanks for coming on anyway. Let's see. Yeah, none of us do. None of us do. You got to get used to it. But so, anything else coming on Netflix or that I need to know about that I can make fun of? I do want to talk about this. So, and Rippa talked about it earlier. So the woman on TikTok, she was talking about I don't know her name, but she was talking about how white people need to give their tickets to the black people and watch the doors for them while they go watch the first weekend of Black Panther. I'm like, fuck y'all. If I go, I'm not going to watch it, but you know, like, fuck you, bitch. What the hell you think this is? Like, shit, no, I will gatekeep. Yeah, I've seen Castlevania on Netflix. Yeah, I've seen it. I actually really liked the first and second season. I guess that would, the first 4 episodes and then the rest of that season I really liked. This third season was kind of terrible. The Boo-Rad just dropped a video about She-Hulk. It's great. Okay. Alright, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I love the Castlevania series as a whole. So I'm hoping that they actually adapt Symphony of the Night instead of that crap that they called the 4th season, which was better than the 3rd season, but it was still crap. Nocturne I'm looking forward to, because that's Richter, so that one leads into... Oh, I love the games. Like, I do a playthrough of Symphony of the Night on Twitch. What's up, Piggy? Yeah, I do a playthrough of Symphony of the Night, and the game that Rondo of Blood. I've got them on PlayStation 4. I'll play them every now and then. Isaac was race swap, but it didn't even matter, right? It didn't even matter. Like, there's only so many scrawny little emo characters you can have in Castlevania. So, although Isaac was redheaded. I mean, sure. Could be. That's one way to look at it. Yeah. Especially like the 5th episode, right? I will give that to the 5th episode for sure. Like Joanna is super posh compared to John. Like, she's clean. She's a completely different character, but she's taking his spot. And she's more of a reincarnation of Joanna from the past. Yeah, that's the one, AJ, that's the one where you play as, what the fuck's his name? Shit, not Isaac, but the other Devil Forge Master. I'm drawing a blank on his fucking name right now. And somebody's gonna hate me for it. Like, if Quirky comes in here, she's gonna yell at me for forgetting his fucking name. What's the Trevor? Well, I don't know, man. I'm tired. But yeah, that's the game where you play as him, as the other Forge Master on Xbox. Yeah, I remember that one. Of course, that's him after he's been weakened after losing to. It was Isaac, and what the fuck is his name? Drop his name in the chat if you know the dude's name from Castlevania, the Devil Forge Master. I don't want to look it up right now. I'm lazy. I don't want to take the time to look up this character's name, but I will. Just because I feel fucking stupid right now for not knowing it. Let's see. Let's see. Hector. Fucking Hector. I don't know how I forgot his name. But, yeah, that's Hector's game. Which they kind of base it on, that's kind of what the 4th season was based on. Was Hector's season. Was Hector's game, but it was loosely based. Very loosely based. I wish they would do, like the... I think what they're going to go with it, though, with Castlevania, is that they're going to blend Lord of the Shadows with the actual history, with the original Belmont and Dracula being friends. I mean, they were friends anyway, but I think they're going to blend that together. I really do. Yeah, the dude that got captured by a vampire. That's the character from that game on Xbox. Is Hector. Okay, so speculate on Awesome's universe and what I think is coming. Okay, so I'm thinking basic superhero universe for now, right? I mean like 1990s styled comic books again. 80s, 90s, where there is a world that has superheroes in it. Okay? Death is going to mean something in the world. Like, if a character dies, they're dead. They're 100% just axed. No resurrection, no bullshit to bring them back. Without a character having that power. Fuck. Okay, as far as Awesome goes, I think that he's going to have some kind of... I mean, I'm changing my mind on his powers. I'm thinking he's more of an earthbender now than Gravity. He's got, like... something about him, he has to remain on the ground to remain as strong as he is. Okay? And I'm kind of basing this off of a random-ass character that I remembered existed. Okay, Black Condor from DC. Okay, he's a random-ass character. He's like the avatar of a god. So his abilities are, as long as he's in the air, he's got control over wind and whatever, you know, all that. But if he touches the ground, he's the strongest motherfucker on the earth. Okay, like he could fight Superman on the ground. Yeah, I say Gravity was the original set, but I don't think he can fly anymore. Every picture you see of him, he's running and jumping. He's not flying in it. So I've changed my tune about Gravity. He can't do gravity, but maybe earthbending, or maybe he gets stronger the more connected to the earth he is. Like Black Condor. John Milan's graveyard looks great, but okay, that's good. You know. Yeah, Black Condor is amazing. Like, he's one of the rare, like, C-list characters that nobody fucking knows about unless you've read the Freedom Fighters, right? And then if you don't know what the Freedom Fighters were, I'm talking about the I believe it's the third generation of them. So Black Condor was a Native American, and he got blessed by a spider goddess to have his powers, and he is the protector of the earth. That's how his powers go. So while he's touching the earth, he is the strongest motherfucker walking. He's the toughest motherfucker walking. While he's flying, he is fast. He can control wind. You know, he's a flying tank. Okay, a lot like Superman, but not near as powerful as Superman. And then you got Phantom Lady. Red Ant, I believe, Red something. I can't remember the whole team. I'll have to go back and check the name. But Dollman, he could grow and shrink. Then you had the Atomic Man. No, it wasn't Atomic Man. It was Anyway, the dude was basically a walking nuclear reactor. He had to stay behind a suit. Let's see. He might be a Street Fighter type character. He might be fucking Vega. Repels and attracts physical. Okay, so he's got a core of gravity himself. I don't think that's going to be awesome at all. Like I said, I'm leaning more towards like something like earthbending, or something where he's got to be connected to the earth. It works with his fighting style. He's a boxer. It works with the rocks floating above his head and jumping up to punch somebody. You know, he's got some level of super strength for sure, but I don't know exactly what yet. You know, I definitely want to read and find out. But I think that Yara is one of the more powerful characters we're going to see in it, for sure. Like, she's definitely going to be up there, and she's definitely going to be more powerful than he is, like, to start with. But he's probably got room to grow in strength, and she doesn't. I think she's probably at her max. Like, she can probably do weird stuff with her powers. He's probably got to grow, you know, train his to make them grow, is what I would. But that's just how I would do it. But yeah, he could be just a fucking street level character with no superhuman strength. But I don't see that working again with him fighting Santuan, right? Because Santuan definitely has Hulk level. He's definitely the big Hulk guy, so he's got strength. He may not be mobile, but he's got strength. If he don't have anything else, so I'm definitely leaning towards that. But like I said, I don't really have enough to go off of other than promo art, and I'm going off of the like the random, like, the promo animation that Marcos is doing. Like, I'm going off a lot off of that. Yeah. So, like, that's one thing, like, to showcase a character's strength, and I love it. It's one of the old tropes. Is that they do it in Captain America when he's punching the punching bag, right? But they do that's an old comic book trope, right? So characters punching bag, and he's working it, and then suddenly he rears back. So he gets some bad news. He punches it, and he just shatters it. It just flies off, right? That's a really old comic book trope that I love because it just showcases somebody's strength. It's like, you know, you got, say, Superman working a bag, and then suddenly he gets some bad news, and he barely pops it, and he pulls a Vegeta and blows it up, you know, just explodes the bag when he stops holding back. Like, it's an old trick. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I don't even see him having more than boxing and, like, kickboxing. Really, he doesn't need it, because that works. Boxing and kickboxing work. You know, a little groundwork. You don't need. Batman may know every martial art in the world, but he only uses the ones that work. And most of that's flying down from the ceiling and kicking somebody in the face, right? The only time he ever has to flex those skills is when he's fighting somebody who's gotten more skill than him. Really, you know. Like, he fights Deathstroke, he's going to get his ass whooped by Deathstroke. Every single time they fight. It does not matter. He cannot win against Deathstroke. Because Deathstroke is better trained than him. Deathstroke is stronger than him. Batman cannot fight fucking Deathstroke at all. He can fight Bane, but that's why Bane wore him out, right? Bane just tore him a new asshole by making him run the gauntlet and freeing everybody from Arkham and making Batman super tired before he broke Batman's back, right? But John Paul Valley in the new Batman costume fucked Bane up, right? I mean, he just fucked Bane, gave Bane a new asshole, right? He just fucked him up. But yeah, definitely it's all about just how you want to present this character, and that's how this goes. It's very much what Eric would want to do to present this character and to keep us interested. My favorite artist, like comic book artist, or martial artist, or what are we talking? Oh yeah. I used to be into. Yeah, he does pose like a power character. Boxing, kickbox, yeah, definitely. I used to be into boxing, mixed martial arts, a little kickbox. I can't kick hard. I got short legs, so kicking has never been my strong suit. But I can definitely box for sure and do some groundwork MMA stuff. But yeah, it definitely looks like he can fight at least. I mean, at least basic skills. So he's got boxing for sure. Boxing. But yeah, as far as his other abilities go, I'm really not sure. Like I said, I think he might be. He might just be able to push himself off the ground where he's jumping high enough to, like, say, punch dude in the face. But I know he's going to weaken himself when he jumps up and punches somebody. Like he's if it's real, and I'm assuming it's going to be a little more realistic with it, with the movements and stuff. When he's jumping up punching somebody, it's going to take a lot of force out of his punch. So, like it would in real life, you know. That's we used to. I used to be on a team, and we had this guy on there. He'd always like to start off his fights by throwing a jump kick. Okay, and this is when he was brand new to it. He was in. We found him in the tough man circuit, but he was just like, he'd always throw a kick first, and then I'm like, motherfucker, if you don't quit throwing a goddamn kick when you start that fight, I'm gonna fuck you up myself. And like, no shit, every time he would jump off that back leg and throw and try to do a spin kick like it was fucking never back down or some shit, and he would get fucked up every single time. I mean, every fucking time he threw a kick in the air, he'd get caught, took to the ground, then ground and pound, and it was over for him. Like he could throw a pretty kick, but that was it. Oh, we used to call him Crash because of that. Oh, it was fun, but like he could not win because of that. He couldn't get that out of his head that he was trying to win it with a fucking jumping spin kick, and when he got up against real people, he couldn't do that. He could not just get his ass handed to him every fucking time, and it was funny as hell every time it happened, because we warned him, like, dude, stop it, like, it doesn't work in practice against us. What makes you think it's going to work against them? And like, he was just so fucking adamant that he could do it, like he could pull that off, and it never fucking worked. All right, let's see here. All right, where you is? There you are. All right. What's up?
Oh, how are you doing?
Oh, good. Just tired as fuck, man.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty tired too.
Like, I came on here to just fucking do my daily login, basically. So, yeah. What you got going on today, man?
Oh, I'm just learning how to draw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good thing to learn. Doing any good?
It's backwards, but this is, well, I drew this like the 6th time I've drawn this. It's just like, you got a bunch of stuff on the page. You see like how all these things, like, they look placed together, like there. objects placed in space. You got the two lines on the side of the bottle of the pitcher that indicates it's on a table, so it looks placed in space.
What's up, C-Dub?
But yeah, no, that's what I've been working on.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to talk a minute, I've got to go AFK just a second. So you want to talk to them?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, hey, Ronan, how you doing?
Just by real quick, Joker. That's all.
Okay, that's nice. I got someone to talk to.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Actually, yeah, I just figured I'd drop in real quick because I wanted to talk to Darkish about Sandman. The Sandman. I actually caught up to episode 5 so far. I've been watching it the past couple hours. I figured, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. See what it's all about. See how it is. And for what it is, if I'm being completely honest, it's not bad. It's actually not bad. Okay, so what's the bad in my opinion so far? Well, considering that at this point I've kind of been conditioned to recognize anything that has to do with like uh same-sex relations, shall we put it? At this point, I've kind of been conditioned now to just, roll my eyes to the back of my head and be like, oh boy, here we go. Some more pandering and whatnot. And I mean, that is kind of what I feel. Maybe it's because of my, religious. Maybe it's because of the fact that, like, I've seen so much pandering and whatnot in the past years that at this point I just, roll my eyes because of it. But I'm not saying it bothers me that I'm not gonna watch it. I mean, I figured I'd give it a watch, and I am liking it. So, it is annoying. I'll say that.
No, yeah, it is. I mean,
but the good so far, I'm actually kind of liking how the story's playing out. I really liked episode 4. Episode 4 was great when Dream had to go up against Lucifer and everything. That was fantastic.
Oh yeah. That's one of the more like famous scenes from the original comic.
Mm-hmm.
Like because that actually leads into like the Lucifer comic later.
Oh, I see.
Because like Dream embarrassed Lucifer in Lucifer's realm. That was great. Okay.
In his own realm, yeah.
But
just real quick, what was curious was how they portrayed Lucifer in this. It's obviously being played by a woman, but it actually kind of fits, considering the fact that, yes, biblically speaking, Lucifer when he was an angel, was described as the most beautiful of all the angels, the one that was most favored by God and everything. So it would make sense. If anything, Lucifer most likely would have had this sort of like androgynous appearance to him, just to sort of
like
keep in mind with
starting out, he was designed to look like David Bowie, with that hair, like that same hair that Gwendolyn Christie has.
Really?
Yeah, that link is old Eric, the one that's in the Nightbot. That's an old link. Use the one that Hale sent. I had some troll come in the first night, and I had to change the link after I did that. So, but that is but he was based on David Bowie, so specifically junkie David Bowie, right? That's what he was designed to look like. So, in later things, he starts looking less androgynous, and he looks more manly. So in the Lucifer comics, he doesn't look anything like Tom Ellis. Okay, and the Tom Ellis version is very loosely based on these comics. Okay. So when Lucifer comes to Earth, I would say he looks more like. Have you ever seen True Blood?
No.
Okay. Well, the guy who plays Eric Northman, he looks a lot like him in that. Like he's very tall, mannish, muscular. Lucifer can change his appearance too. You have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And you also have to keep in mind that Lucifer in the comics is not Satan. Okay, they're two different beings. So Satan is he's what's called first of the fallen. If you ever read the John Constantine books or seen the Constantine series, the first of the fallen is Satan. Okay.
Yeah.
He was God's first creation in the comics.
All right.
Okay, and before anything else, God created Satan, and Satan was his advisor basically.
Yeah,
And
right.
He realized that he gave Satan all his knowledge. So he's like, okay, banish him to hell. Just he knows too much. He knows what I'm planning. He knows how this is going to end. Banish him to hell. Okay, so he created the second, and third of the fallen to keep the first of the fallen in check.
All
Right. So there's three fallen before the angels were ever created. Okay. So the first, second, and third, they were the arch devils of hell, basically.
Yeah.
And then Lucifer rebelled. Of course, why he rebelled is very different in the comics. Okay. So it's not because he was jealous or anything like. He was questioning God all the time, but he was made to do that, right? God made him to question because he did not want another first of the fallen to happen. Because first of the fallen could have taken over everything if he wanted to. While on the seventh day, let's put it like he could have taken over on the seventh day after creation.
Mm-hmm.
So the endless and all that stuff came into being because of everything, and the second and third of the fallen were created to keep the first of the fallen in check. Lucifer, being the fourth of the fallen, is the most powerful. Okay. As far as raw power goes, he is the most powerful of all of them. So he goes to hell and he takes over. Right? Hell shapes itself around him because of his willpower. His sheer willpower. And he has to fight the first, second, and third of the fallen to take over hell. Which is a very... You don't ever see this in the story, but it happens. Because this is off-panel stuff. This is off-panel canon. Because Lucifer has to take it from them. Well, Lucifer's been in charge of hell for 10 billion years. He's been stuck there. But he's been the king of hell for 10 billion years. And then Dream shows up and embarrasses him. So that gets to that pride, right? So
yeah.
He's not supposed to lose in hell, as far as it goes. So he just eats him alive that Dream was able to beat him in hell at playing the oldest game, which Lucifer's never lost. Okay, that game that they play, like Lucifer has never lost that game.
Okay.
It's like, the MVP gets beat by by an amateur,
by a newbie,
right?
Yeah.
By a newbie who has played it, but he hasn't played it with them, right?
Right.
So you'll notice that a lot of the higher beings in the DC universe, they play a game, right? They all play games. Desire played a game with you hadn't got that far yet, but Desire's in it.
I think I was just introduced to Desire at the end of episode 5. That was Desire that showed up.
Or was it talking to a ring, like pale transvestite looking?
Yeah, pale transvestite looking person.
Yeah. So if it was talking to a hook ring, then yes, and it summons despair. Desire and despair are twins.
All right then.
But yeah. So I could explain the whole story, but watch the rest of it. It's not as fucking cringy as you would believe it. But like I say, current day, you can't help but question it. This is the same thing I said about Prey. Current day, you're just like, it's iffy anyway. But that story has always been a progressive type story.
I'm giving it leeway anyways, considering the fact that Neil Gaiman himself's actually working on it.
Yeah,
so.
And like I said, Constantine is the one I will say like 100% works, right? Because he didn't want to pay for the rights. Why pay for it when you've already got a character? You can just say it's a reincarnation of Joanna, of the original Joanna. Joanna Constantine is in the books of magic too. It's not Joan.
Okay.
It's Joanna in that. So.
All right.
Well, I think John appears in like one issue of it, but Joanna's in it too.
And you were absolutely right. Episode 5 it got really
fucking
dark.
Right, it's fucked up.
It got really dark.
Like, and that's why I say, like Neil Gaiman said something on Twitter, like, nobody gets to gatekeep Sandman. I'm like, you don't have to gatekeep Sandman. Like, fans don't have to gatekeep it. It gatekeeps itself. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because it's not for everybody. I mean, it can be if you're willing to get past those darker stories. But
the one thing I liked about, the fact that despite episode 5 being so dark, I'm at least glad for the fact that when Dream finally showed up, he basically tried explaining to John, look, all you did was really show like the hard truth of like what a lot of people have to deal with nowadays. But I mean, this is the reason why people have dreams in the first place.
Yeah.
They have dreams so that way it keeps them alive, it keeps them sane, it keeps them going. Without those dreams, well, you get human beings acting like absolute animals to each other.
Right.
And I like that. I think that there's significance behind that, having dreams.
Right.
It's really cool.
But it's like what I was saying, like, it's not for when it's not for everybody. The fifth season, the 5th episode will either make or break the series for you, right? That's how it works in the book. It makes or breaks it because it's so fucking dark. Like, you don't know if you're going to be able to watch the rest of the series, and that's not even the darkest thing that happens, right? That's just the first dark thing. So like I said, it's not, if you don't like the Sandman before you go in, right, then it might be hard to get into it. Like that's what Gary from Nerdrotic, he says he doesn't like it anyway. So why would he like the series anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, I may be the only person in our space that has given it a good review. As far as I can tell, I am. But I also love the universe, right? As much as I hate what DC has become, like, I still love that universe, right? At least up until New 52, and this is before New 52. This is one of the oldest, one of the better stories that survived. These stories were so good in Vertigo that they became part of the DC canon, right? Which doesn't happen. Like, the old Constantine books didn't become part of DC canon, right? The Vertigo Constantine books didn't become part of it. They had a young Constantine in the New Earth stuff when he did show up. It wasn't the same one that was in the Vertigo stuff, because John Constantine was one of the only people that grew old in his own comic book. Like, he's one of the few that grew older in Hellblazer. But like, so, but Lucifer and Sandman are both actually canon to New Earth. And then Lucifer stops being canon when they merge universes and shit like that. You know, on a grand scale, like, they merge 3 different multiverses together and sew them together basically to save the world, because the Source leaves. Later on, the Source just abandons the multiverse. He abandons his throne, and everything begins to unravel, except for Lucifer's multiverse, because he created it separate. But Lucifer himself is still part of the Source's multiverse. So he realizes that, oh shit, if I don't do something here, then, I'm going to be erased too. And then my universe is going to go, right? So he has to step in and help, and Lucifer's story is a very interesting one too in the comics, especially after the dream stuff. Like, there's somebody, he goes on a journey looking for his wings, and the Chinese gods have it. They have his wings, so he has to go to the Chinese gods to get his the Chinese underworld to get his wings back.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
And he ends up having to fight them, but they set a trap for him, right? They set a trap in his wings, so when he uses his powers, his wings will ignite. So he uses his powers, his wings ignite, and he burns up and falls down to the ground, and then he meets death.
Oh man.
Like he just runs into death like that. He's like, you have no claim to me, let me go back. And she's like, I never said I did. But it's just one of those things, like you either are into it, you like the magic side of it, or you don't. I mean, there's no if ands or buts about it. It's just
Well, I can't say this, like episode 5 definitely does have me interested. I passed that barrier, I can say that. So
Yeah.
I know this weekend I'm definitely going to try and finish the rest of the first season, see how it plays out.
yeah.
Well, I just wanted to drop by in real quick and just kind of say that, share my thoughts with y'all.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was good, and I'll let you know what my general consensus is.
Okay.
Next Thursday. And,
So yeah, next Thursday we're gonna have Megatonic Audio with us. So
that should be good.
yeah. I don't know who else is gonna be there, but we're definitely gonna have them. Tomorrow, I don't know what time I'll be streaming at all, because it's going to be, like, I got to go to my part-time job, and then I've got to go do a charity thing where I'm in costume for a couple hours. So I'm going to cook. Like, I'm literally going to, like, I can be standing in 30-degree weather, and it's 80 degrees in that costume.
Damn.
So I don't know how hot it's going to be tomorrow. Like, I may have to pass out when I get home for a little while. Or definitely drink some water. I'm definitely gonna have to stay hydrated.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on that, man.
Oh yeah,
Best of luck.
yeah. If it wasn't, I mean, like some sick little girl, and that's something like that's what I'm doing it for. So
Right.
I'm all cool with cooking for a few hours, losing about 10 pounds of weight. I'll lose that dinner I ate today is what I'll do.
Nice.
But yeah. Hell, if you will, drop the Dono link and the other links there, man.
Let me go ahead and do that right now, actually.
Oh, you gonna do it? All right.
Yep.
There you go. But yeah, so yeah, definitely, I want to hear what you think about it on Thursday for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll let you know.
I'm gonna rewatch it before Thursday, just so I can, because I was, like I said, I watched it at 3 a.m. all the way through, so I was up for 10 hours watching this, at being delirious, because I got insomnia, so I don't sleep a lot, but I watched it at 3 a.m. and then I was delirious, but I remember locking it, so. And I remember pulling up my comic book and, like, okay, yep, this matches up, but I'm going to watch it without the comic book, and
Okay.
see what I think about it then. And just pay attention to the acting and stuff like that this time when I watch it, because I seem to be the only person in our sphere that's giving it a good review. So. But that's okay. I'm leaving it up. I'll own that shit.
Right.
I'm not going to private it. It don't matter to me. I like it, so fuck y'all.
Well, you might not be the only guy. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, if you made it past episode 5, like, the rest is not bad unless you know the characters that got race swapped. Which, by the way, you can look at them and tell which characters got race swapped. Sex swap too, not so much, but definitely the race swaps, you can tell.
Alright then.
Because they're the only black people in the entire show.
Jesus.
Every black person in this show is a race swap character. And just to let you know, like, every single one of them.
Oh god.
Like, there's not a single one that is organically in the first couple books of Sandman. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alright then. I gotta get some rest, guys.
Alright, man. Have a good one.
Alright. Laters.
But yeah, let's see. You still there, Joker?
I am. I'm still drawing.
Okay. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. I might want to read the Sandman comics, but I'm ambivalent about watching the show. But the comics sound cool. I'll probably go to my LCS sometime and look for the Sandman comics.
Yeah. Don't read Overture first. I'll say that. Don't. It is recommended reading not to read this one first. It is a prequel, but don't read it first. You can read it anytime after the first series, but don't read it. Don't read it first.
Okay, don't start with Overture. Got it.
Yeah. Even though it's a prequel and it does lead directly into where the book starts, don't read it first. No, at least until after you've gotten the first book out of the way, because I mean, really all of the books, because you need to know like stuff about the characters really before you read this one. But yeah, like as you can see, I got a Sandman Overture poster on my wall now. So, but yeah, like I said, I may be the only person in our sphere that's giving it a good review. So that's okay. I'll be the one. I'll be the one to jump on that grenade. Maybe why it's my worst rated, one of my worst viewed videos. But okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I think people are mad about the race swaps because of how prevalent this stuff is, and even if I've heard your what you said. In war, it makes sense because death can be anything, right? But it's just where the culture's at right now.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Like it, I've given this one a little bit of leeway just because of the story, right? Where I wouldn't other stories, like Heimdall, I wouldn't give that any kind of leeway because that doesn't make sense. Like Heimdall makes zero sense.
Oh, like the Viking movie, yeah. Or like Anne Boleyn. I think you thought they're doing Anne Boleyn, and then have black woman as Anne Boleyn.
I mean, if you fuck up a historical character and you're not Fate Stay Night, fuck you. It's as simple as that. Don't fuck with history. Don't fuck with Tolkien. But like, if you're gonna fuck with history like that, you're doing it for a fucking purpose, right? Sandman, I'm willing to give it the leeway because these people do act like the characters. If they don't look like them, they still act like them. So, except Rose. Rose is kind of boring, but Rose is a kind of boring ass character anyway. Like, her story's kind of boring as hell.
Yeah, no, I don't really know anything about Sandman, but I would start with the comics first.
Definitely start with the comics, or alternatively, the audiobooks. They are really good. Like they are 10 out of 10. I'll give the show 9.9, and that's just because of the race swaps. But the show is 10. The audiobook is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no.
I do agree, Piggy.
Yeah, no, I like comics. So
yeah.
And I got an LCS, and they would probably have a trade back that collects the Sandman stuff.
Yeah. Preludes and Nocturnes is the first one, and the Dollhouse is the second one. That's enough to get you caught up to where the show would be. You can actually look up a little. You can actually get the whole series for like $100 if you want. If you get the big trades, big readers. Like Overture and you can probably get them all on Amazon for like next to nothing. Well, now it's going to be harder to get now if there's a Netflix show.
Yeah, a little bit harder. I don't think most people watching Netflix are going to go, oh, I'll read the Sandman comics after watching the show. They'll just go on to watch the next Netflix thing.
Yeah, some will though. Some like Invincible.
Yeah, no.
When Invincible dropped, there was a bunch of people trying to find those comics,
Yeah, no, I will attest to that. I was one of those people who started reading Invincible
Yeah.
after the show.
Hmm.
So I want to say it's not zero, but it's nowhere near where like a manga does it, where like My Dress Up Darling drops, and the sales increase by like almost double, and that's a pretty consistent thing with the anime,
Yeah.
and manga. So I think you know you'll see a little bit of that, but it's rare to see these adaptations that are that accurate. And Invincible's touted as being super accurate, and if you know anything about the storyline of Invincible, it really isn't, because they do the whole reanimate story arc so early, and that was such a big sticking point between Invincible and Cecil. So I just don't know how they're going to manage, that happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's just weird to me, because there's like all this stuff that was supposed to happen later that happened, there, or it's not going to be able to happen at all. So it's like, where does it go from here?
Yeah.
I'm not that interested, because I think Invincible as a story from beginning to end just barely holds, because it really falters at the end. And I only have confidence in Kirkman writing a good story with the compromises he's made for the corporate machine.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that they do it justice, but like I said, I judge a show season to season. I don't judge it episode to episode, because you can't. I judge it by the season. Well, I do judge it episode to episode, but I also judge it season to season. So I will hold the second season separate from the first season. Like, if I like the first season and I hate the second season, I might come back and watch the third season, just to see how it does. But like, if it's too much for me to watch, which is saying a lot. Like, I've watched a lot of fucked up shit as far as it goes. As far as shows go, just shit that fucks with the lore and fucks everything up and just breaks everything. Yes. Okay. Abomination AJ. Yes. Isaac in Castlevania. Okay. So this is one of the changes where it's actually good, right? It's a race swap. They make him African, and he is a fucking beast in the cartoon. While in the games he's not. He's far inferior. Like, not really as far as his power goes, but his personality and everything is so weak in comparison. Just that, and then you got fucking Isaac is a beast, like a fucking beast. But then you got the same thing where Hector is a beast in the games. Okay, Hector is broke as shit in the games, and then you've got in the show he ain't shit, right? Hector ain't fucking shit in the show. Alucard ain't shit in the show. And Alucard's supposed to be the big bad motherfucker, but Alucard ain't really shit in the show either. So I hope that they do Symphony of the Night correctly, and I hope they do Richter's story correctly. Rondo of Blood, which is going to be Nocturne. I hope that they do that correctly. But I don't know. This is the same people that animated He-Man, and like, He-Man is, on its surface, is a beautiful fucking show. Except then you get to Muscle Tila, and you're like, yeah, no, go away. But yeah, yes, Alucard is a fucking beast in the games. Like, he is badass in the games. As far as it goes, he's broke as shit in the games with all of his shit anyway. Like, in Symphony of the Night, one of the whole things is death takes your items away from you at the very beginning of the game. So you're going through Dracula's castle without your items, and you're kind of weakened because you haven't fed. He hasn't woken up fully yet. So you'll get your ass handed to you without your items. But you can also do a thing where you run out of the room real quickly, and you can keep your items. Like, you can slide into the room and slide out real quick, and you skip that scene, keep your items. and you one-shot almost everything in the fucking game until you get to like bosses. You one-shot every little weak thing though. But yeah, Alucard's power extremely powerful in the games. Like even in the side scroller, platformer, like he's one of the few people that can kill Dracula. Right. So you got Alucard, and then you've got a Belmont that can kill Dracula. Nobody else can kill Dracula. Like it's physically impossible for them to. So yeah, Alucard is a fucking beast. Yeah, they cucked Hector and boosted Black Isaac. Yeah. I would say it's I wouldn't say woke as much as it is because woke is done with a purpose and it's normally not good at all, right? I would say it's definitely a race swap for 100% race swap, and Hector gets cucked, so there's that, but it all depends on which version of the story you're going with too. So, like I said, it is needless. It is 100% needless. But like I said, I wouldn't exactly call it woke. I would call it maybe just short-sighted, or it was definitely planned. Like they wanted Hector to be weaker which in the first story with Hector, he was the weaker one, right? In that game on Xbox that you were talking about earlier with Hector, that's where he becomes a beast. That's 200 years in the future. So, but they kind of tell that story with the third season, I think, third or fourth season, whichever one is the last. They tell that part of that story where he's going after Isaac, right? Depends on what lore you're talking about, man. Cause that all depends on the lore. Cause werewolfism is normally related to a curse, so. And Dracula is Dracula. I think Dracula was a real dude, so Vlad the Impaler, so. So that Bram Stoker, yeah, werewolves are cursed freaks, 100%. But Underworld has like the first werewolf. So does Supernatural and a bunch of others. They've got like the Alpha, what they call it, the first one. But yeah, it all depends on the story you're talking about. I'm saying that vampires are not sparkling little. About said a gamer word. I was about to say a gamer word. Nice try, Eric. Good job. But yeah, they just depends on the vampire. Like Blade vampires Marvel vampires are diseased, but they all come from Dracula, right? There are 2 vampires in Marvel that don't have, 3 technically, but there are 3 vampires in Marvel that don't have the disease, and that's Dracula, Lilith, and Lilith Drake, who's Dracula's daughter, and Morbin time. It's Morbin time, so. I'm on to your game. But no, in all seriousness, though, Yeah, it all depends on which version of vampires you're talking about. Because there's magic vampires, there's scientific vampires, which are diseased, and those are the kind that spread it through a bite, right? A single bite spreads it like Blade, you know. Anybody bitten Blade will become a vampire, but some of them become the vampire zombies, you know. And they can manipulate the virus to create the Reapers, shit like that, you know. That didn't happen in the comics, but like as far as vampires go, in DC it's full on curse. So, and you got one flavor or the other more than often than not. My personal favorite are Vampire the Masquerade vampires. So, if you've never played it, play it. Vampire the Masquerade is the best type of vampires. And it's not even close. There's no comparison to any other vampires. Like, they started with Cain from the Bible. It's how they go. Cain was the first vampire. Dracula was like 8th generation. Yeah. That's Yeah, oh yeah, probably later. Definitely later when Rippa decides he wants to write the dark stuff. But yeah, Eric Cain being the first vampire is probably the better version of it, and that's the Vampire the Masquerade stories. And he created the second generation of vampires. They were killed by the third generation. And then the third generation were cursed by Cain, so that they had specific weaknesses. So it's a very interesting story as far as that goes. I love Vampire the Masquerade. And then you've got Legacy of Cain vampires, which are they're great too. Legacy of Cain. Okay, the vampires started off as angels in that Nephilim, and then they became vampires, and then they could spread their curse throughout the world. But that also has one of the best time travel stories. Also, is Legacy of Cain. So, if you ever get to look up the confusing timeline for Werewolf the Apocalypse. Oh my God! So I'm working on a game right now, and I'm going to turn it into comic books, novel, cartoon, whatever the hell I want to turn it into. Right? That's Zimmercy. Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Looks like I've hit the right crowd here tonight. Gilgamesh and Enkidu are in Vampire the Masquerade as well. There's two different stories about them within the universe, and nobody knows which one is true. So one of them is that Gilgamesh was a vampire, and of the Gangrel clan. The other one is that he was a human who fought off vampires and never got immortality, which would fall in line more with the would fall more in line with the that's the werewolf one story about Gilgamesh. Oh, I could talk all day about some World of Darkness, guys. Y'all don't even know. I ain't even got time for it today. But I'll talk some World of Darkness. But going back to what I was saying is that I'm about to run a game that is it's called Grimm. Okay, you're the children of fairy tale creatures, of fairy tale people, and you're fighting Cthulhu monsters that are invading your story, basically. So I'm about to run it, but it's based in World of Darkness, like character sheets, and the system is World of Darkness. So I'm about to run that, and people in the Discord are welcome to join this game if you like. I won't be streaming this one, but I will be recording it. So if y'all want to get in on that, definitely join the Discord. Yeah. I like the Werewolf the Apocalypse story the best, honestly. That they're all born werewolves and they don't get bit, they don't get changed into it, and that Earth itself. Okay, look, don't play the video game. The video game is trash. We're not talking, the video game is 100% trash. It is garbage. If you want to review it, man, by all means, it sucks though. I mean, it is terrible. Later, Joker. Yeah, but it's fucking terrible. And this is coming from a Werewolf the Apocalypse fan. When I praise those games, I am not talking about the video games, okay? Unless I'm talking about specifically Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I am not praising those games. And Bloodlines is almost unplayable as far as it goes without the patches that were made. What I'm talking about is this right here. Okay, this is the Kindred of the East book for D&D, or a D&D style game, right? This is World of Darkness. So, you'll see that. This is what I'm talking about, is fucking D&D, right? I love me some D&D and some World of Darkness. I use D&D as a catch-all term. So, if you want to actually play some fucking World of Darkness, yes, 100%, you are welcome to. You are welcome to play with me. I will run a damn game every day if I got people wanting to play. Alright? If y'all want to pay me to play to run D&D every day, I will be glad to. Alright? I will quit my job if y'all pay me enough to do it every day. Legit, I will 100%, let's do this. If y'all want to play some D&D. But that is my truest passion, is fucking Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm saying overarching term, tabletop RPGs. Not just Dungeons and Dragons, because I personally hate the game of Dungeons and Dragons, at least after 3rd edition. So I've got the 5th edition book, but I only run it because it's easier to run online than 3.5 is. But yeah, I will run some fucking D&D, okay? You get me started on D&D, and that's the rest of the night. I'm sorry, but it's the rest of the night. But yeah, I love the World of Darkness mythos. I love the meta plot to it. That is the one game that I actually run to the meta plot, right? So for everybody to know that, let's see. Yeah, Vampire Werewolf, I do run those games. I don't necessarily stream them. I haven't yet anyway, because that's how you get demonetized. All right, John Carter, love it. I love pulp stuff, man. Pulp Fiction, actual Pulp Fiction, love it. John Carter, Cthulhu, all that stuff in that same movie. Conan. Okay, that's fine. I'm about to run a custom World of Darkness game that's set in the world of the Grimm fairy tales. So if you want to get in on that, it's got all the mechanics from the World of Darkness though. Werewolf, vampire, everything. It's got a little of everything in it. So If you want to get in on that, join the Discord and just send me a link. John Carroll D&D. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. There's not a lot of vampire and werewolf like anime I like, as far as that goes, or anime or manga I like. I have to. Okay. All right. Cool, Eric. Yeah. Just send me a message if you want to play in this. Let me know. I'm trying to get a full party together, and my parties can be anywhere from 10 to a fucking 100 people. I don't care. I can run it for any number of people. I'm a fucking dungeon master for real. Like, I can fucking run a D&D game. Like, yeah. But I love telling my own stories, and I've just now pretty much gotten to where I can record them. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna stream it because I don't want my stories getting out to people before I have time to write them. But what edition of what am I using? I use the 20th anniversary edition. So the best version. Not even close. It's the best version. I have the second edition stuff right here, but I don't use it in. And it's got a lot of custom stuff to it too. I'm building a book for it right now. I've read this story before, so I'm actually building a PDF for it for this game. I'll be building it while we're playing. So, but yeah, 20th anniversary or nothing, which is 4th edition, by the way. Good luck finding them at a used bookstore, man. I got the PDFs for it. I can't even find the books anywhere except online because they're like, super fucking expensive to get. Like, I've got Kindred of the East right here, and I can't reach back behind me but I got the 2nd edition vampire book. I can't reach back there to grab the other books. Oh yeah, I can right there. So I've got, that's my 3.5 book. Yeah, good luck finding them at a bookstore. If you find them and they got multiple copies, give me the address. Like, I will order that shit in a heartbeat. Cause I've got the Dark Ages book, which is, this is 2nd edition as well. But buddy of mine got me a bunch of the 2nd edition books, or a couple of them, for my birthday one year. He got them on Amazon. But like, yeah. But yeah, I mix a little of everything into this game, and black and red. Okay, cool. Yeah, if they've got them, then definitely get them. You know, because you can't find them hardly anywhere. And Onyx Path is allowing people to create custom games right now. Like, they've opened the license up. So I'm kind of doing that for myself now, since they've opened the license up to make World of Darkness games. So mine is in my own custom world, but I will run, if I've got a team, if I've got a party that wants to play some vampire or werewolf, any of that, man, I'll run it. I love the meta plot to the universe. I would love to run Wraith. Right, that is like a dream game to run, but I can't ever find anybody who wants to run it, who wants to play it, because Wraith is like super fucked up and dark. Like, you start off the game and you're dead already. So, you know, you were probably killed in some horrific way. Because you're a ghost. So, yeah. You know. But, like, I love the World of Darkness. I love some of the Vertigo stuff from DC. Since it's become the Black Label, I'm kind of like, I don't care about it unless it's Sandman related. But, like, I will run any D&D game. Call of Cthulhu, Dungeons and Dragons, whatever. If y'all want to play, let me know for sure. Because, like, I'm trying to get a group together. Changeling is weird. Changeling is super. I could not get into New World of Darkness. I like the idea of Beast, but I could not get into it. Changeling is one of the weird ones, right? But I can play Changeling too. It's just not one of my go-tos as far as that goes. I much prefer like vampire, wraith, or werewolf. I'm not even a hunter fan. Like I like some of the hunter stuff to use as NPCs, but I don't like them as player characters. And I'll tell you why. So in the second edition book, I believe it is, on one page they are telling you that as a hunter, your life is always in danger. You have to be careful when you're fighting creatures of the night. The very next page, they have a picture of a werewolf punching a werewolf, of a hunter punching a werewolf in the face. Yeah, well, get your stuff together, definitely, Hell, and we'll get some playing done for sure. Especially like on the days where I've got nothing going on, we'll definitely play some. Cause like those are my games right there. Werewolf is less so than vampire, but they both have the tendency to turn into superhero games. And it's kind of weird, like for those types of games to turn into superhero games, but they do very easily. You got a team of werewolf superheroes trying to fucking save the world, and like that's part of your mission, but like at the same time, it's kind of weird. Like, Grimm is very much a superhero game too, but it's, you know, like I said, you're fairy tale creatures fighting Call of Cthulhu monsters that are invading your story, and once you like hear the meta plot to it, it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, as far as that goes, just here. I'd love to get back into some D&D. I tried to run a Pokemon 5th edition game and it didn't work out too well. So, but yeah, definitely, if y'all want to get into it, let me know for sure, because we can definitely do some D&D stuff. And especially since we're waiting on a fucking comic book to drop, and between comic book drops, like we need something to do. So definitely, like, yeah, you're in this community, you rock with me, you're welcome to it. You know, I may have to run multiple games to get to fit everybody in, but I'll be glad to do that. You know. Okay, I'll have to check that out, Abomination. AJ, I will definitely check that out. Like I was trying to do I was trying to stream it on Twitch, a D&D game, but every week some shit would go wrong with my damn Streamlabs when I was trying to stream to Twitch, as opposed to trying to stream to YouTube. So, and it was okay, but it wasn't my greatest because I wasn't familiar with the system that well. And I could do it. I mean, John Carter, Mars. I mean, I just gotta have the players to do it. I really. I've never played the game, if there is one, but I will. I like John Carter. And you know, Red Martian Princess is, you know, yeah. I'm down for that 100%. Like, I'm down for any kind of D&D though. Like on any kind of tabletop RPG, I'm down for it, guys. I've got one. This is one I really want to run. It's called Capers. Okay, so what it is it's in the 1920s, and you're basically super powered mafia characters. Instead of rolling dice, you play with playing cards. I love that. Right? I've been trying to get a group together for that forever. But yeah, World of Darkness, any of that stuff. If you want to play a different type of superhero game, like if that's what you want to do, there are games to do it with. I just I prefer the Strange, is what it's called. I prefer that one to any others. I was running a Marvel game a while back with that system, and yeah, it's pretty fun. But like, I'm just as far as everything goes, like I haven't actually sit down and played a D&D game in over a year, other than attempting the Pokemon game, and like that bothers me. That Weird West, yeah, a little bit. It also uses like poker chips and stuff to be your like specialty points, stuff like that. It's kind of it seems like it could be fun. There's also Kids on Bikes, which is basically Stranger Things, and Big Eyes Small Mouth for you anime weebs out there. Yeah, there's a whole lot of games that I would love to run, love to play, but. Yep. I say you're anime weebs, but I'm a weeb too. If you want proof, I got it right here next to me. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. Okay. So, and then I got the Godzilla game, which I know Ronan's wanting to play that, but I don't remember the exact mechanics to Weird West. I ran a different version of it, which was Jurassic West. And it was basically, instead of mammals, you had dinosaurs. Like, humans evolved with dinosaurs. You just got done running Rise of the Rune Lords. Okay. Cool. As far as everything goes, like, I stick to a few main games mainly, and I try to reach out and play some others, but like, I am 100% done with the Star Wars game. Like, I cannot run a damn Star Wars game that doesn't end badly every fucking time I try to run this fucking game. For new people, it doesn't even matter if the same people are part of it. Every time I run this game, it turns out like shit. The players turn into fucking psychopaths every fucking time, man. And they're not even playing a Sith game, right? If it was playing a Sith game, it would be different. But I mean, damn. Like, I can't fucking stand a Star Wars game anymore. Like, it just goes bad every time. Like, we were playing a Mandalorian game last time, and I wanted to punch half my players in the face. Just because. But, you know, that's playing Star Wars for you. And that was over a year ago, though. I'll run pretty much anything. Just, if you got any games you want to try, let me know. I think when the Rippaverse drops, we shouldn't even count. Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to. Like I said, I'm about to make some comparisons to like old Marvel and old DC when it was good, but that'll be it. I won't make any fucking. I'm not gonna be making fucking. The Mandalorians definitely, yes. They turn into murder hobos quickly. Like the fucking Mandalorian game was shit. I would rather run a Sith game. 100% rather run a full Sith game than ever run a fucking Mandalorian game with a bunch of Mandalorian cosplayers again. Okay? Never again. And I will never run another Star Wars game. Just because it infuriates me so bad to play a Star Wars game. Like from day one, I am infuriated the entire time I'm trying to run this for these people. Like, I hate it. One second, guys. Like, I would love to do a Lord of the Rings game, or anything, really. Just, I don't want to do Game of Thrones either. Like, Game of Thrones is not a good system to run with friends. It is like trying to play Monopoly, you know, or Mario Kart. You got to be really secure with your friendships to play Game of Thrones. Like, you got to be 100% like ready for what the fuck's gonna happen. L5R, Legend of the Five Rings, one of my favorite games of all time. Like, if you've never played Legend of the Five Rings, yes. Yeah, man, as far as Cyberpunk games go, like, they're really hit or miss, right, to find players for. I want to run a Dark Sun game. Okay, I do want to run a Dark Sun game. If you know what that is, it's a setting in D&D, and I want to run a Planescape Torment game. But I can't find players for it. I cannot find a single player that wants to play those because of what the game entails. Right? It's brutal as shit. For Dark Sun, it's brutal as shit. Think Mad Max, but magic. But, you know, a fantasy world Mad Max. That's what Dark Sun is. And that's the light version of it. But I'm not, I'm kind of disenchanted with a lot of shit that has come out recently, as far as it goes. Like, Vampire 5th Edition, I hate it. I don't like it at all. I don't like Werewolf, the 5th Edition, so I won't play them. I'll play 4th Edition all day. L5R. If it's not 4th Edition, I'm not playing it. You know. Oh, I don't like Critical Role. Like, I hate Critical Role. I despise it. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, Eric. Rock on, brother. Like, that's fucking metal D&D right there. Like, you want to play D&D hard mode, that is playing Dark Souls with D&D is what that is. You talk about shit being harder than Dark Souls, is that and fucking Planescape Torment or Planescape. Like, but yeah, I don't like Critical Role. I will fully admit that. I can't stand Critical Role. It's none of I don't like Matt Mercer's style of DMing, and I think that it has led to a lot of shit that has happened in D&D recently. One, it brought D&D into the mainstream. So, oh, I've got it. I got a converted version of 4th edition that I use, and I convert stuff from it to 5th edition when I when I try to run it online, or I can do 3.5 version of it. I just haven't gotten a group together to be able to run it yet. And but yeah, I'm not a fan of Critical Role, guys. So that's gonna knock me some points with some people, but I think that's one of the reasons that led to D&D getting. I don't mind D&D getting popular. I'm not one of those people who try to gatekeep D&D, right? But it's like it's one of the things that started allowing people to gatekeep us out of it, right? It's Critical Role making it popular. So yeah. But it was purely just like the people that like that. I don't like them. A bunch of people trying to get into D&D. Like I was saying the other night. I don't remember what video it was on, but like this kid that works with me. He was asking me what he should play in a D&D game, and I'm like, what are you playing? You know, like what setting? Because they're going through the books. So I'm like, okay, there's not much you want to play. I mean, unless your DM allows like Unearthed Arcana or something in 5th edition, it's all pretty god awful. Unless you know what you're doing and know how to build it. But you can have fun with it either way. It just all depends. But I'm like, what book are you playing? And he's like, the Critical Role book. I'm like, fuck. Alright. And he's like, and the DM wants a barbarian. I'm like, fuck. Okay, so he's trying to recreate the goddamn characters from Critical Role is what he's trying to do. He's using you because you're goofy enough to do it. Right? You're goofy enough to play that character. And I'm like, that game's gonna suck, bro, because he's gonna try to emulate Matthew Mercer doing it. Like he's gonna get hit with the Matt Mercer effect, and it's gonna fuck that game up. Right? So, like, I am about to play it. I've got it downloaded on Epic Game Store, so I might play it tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not looking. I mean, it's Smash Brothers, so Smash Brothers clone. It will either work or it won't, right? Oh, I can imagine. I mean, I can imagine that they're a lot more entertaining. They're not a bunch of voice actors trying to play D&D, right? Or playing to their own rules of D&D and not explaining their rules to D&D, right? That's one thing I don't like is like with Critical Role is like they're playing their own version of D&D, but it's all a bunch of voice actors doing it, right? So that makes people think that that's what D&D is actually like, right? And you get people trying, instead of making their own original characters, they're making clones of the Critical Role characters. I hate that. Like, I cannot stand that. Well, you know, hell, you're always welcome in my games, man, for sure. Yeah, I haven't even had time to watch. I'm kind of waiting until they get further into it. But I'll definitely start watching it when I get time. I follow it. And I've defended them at least once on Twitter. There was some dude on there. He was saying that they were hypocrites for playing 5th edition, and I'm like, hold up, you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong. One, their chances are they're not playing a woke ass game. Two, just because the halfway through the books it gets woke as hell doesn't mean that they're using those books, and it doesn't mean that their game is woke as hell. Like, I was defending this shit out of Geeks and Gamers Tabletop, even though I had never watched an episode of it. You know, Florida Man, hell yeah, Florida Man D&D. I think I got that fucking character sheet. I got the fucking build for it. But yeah, I'm just not I'm not a fan of like fucking poser D&D, right? And that's what I have to, that's the best way I can describe it. Is it's fucking poser D&D. It's the same as like Chris Evans playing Captain America, right? He's the exact opposite of Captain America, right? And these people who are playing D&D now are not really. I mean, Matt Mercer and his group might be fans of it, but their fans aren't, right? They're trying to recreate what happened in that fucking show. I had one guy in an old group, and I could not stand playing with this guy. I could not fucking stand him. I despise this guy just because he was like them. He was trying to be like them and trying to emulate them. And it wasn't even a game that was being streamed. It was just like his type of character was very much one of them that you would see on that. And I'm just like, I'm gonna strangle this kid. I'm gonna fucking strangle him. I mean, like, just. I can't even describe it right now how bad it was. I'll get Quirky on here one night and you let her tell the stories. Because he'll get a laugh out of her doing it anyway. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, AJ. Like, I'm completely... I have a problem watching other people play D&D anyway, but I can always, make an exception if I like the people I'm watching. I would rather be playing it, though, myself. So there's that. But, yeah, just... It all depends on what's going on. Hell, will you drop the links again? I got a new one too. Knife 'em. But yeah, I'm about to run. If I can get players for it, I'm gonna run the Grim game, which that's the next one coming up. And then I'm going to run a Godzilla game, which is basically Avatar: The Last Airbender, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Godzilla combined. So, and I may actually stream that one because it's pretty fun. But yeah, and that's a 5th edition game. So. Yeah, oh yeah, man, me too. You get me started, I'll never shut up. Like, it's like just somebody bringing up, Dr. Manhattan in the room, you'll get me ranting. if I start talking about D&D, it's the same deal, but instead it's love and admiration. So, but like, yeah, I can do any kind of D&D I want. Any kind of D&D. I'm fine with playing any system. It's just there's some that I will stream and some that I won't. Because like if I'm gonna play a 3.5 game, I'm not gonna stream it. Pure and simple, because it's a spreadsheet RPG. That'll be the most long, boring thing somebody's watching, but it'll be the most fun somebody has building a character, for sure. Like, I've got some stories. Oh no, don't do that, Eric. Don't do that. Don't do that. We cool, Eric. Don't do that. Because hell no, hell's been in every rant I've done on Dr. Manhattan. I can't stand the character. I hate that fucking character. But yeah, it's as far as D&D goes though, I can play D&D all damn day. I can talk D&D all day. I do not like Pathfinder at all. And Pathfinder is just 5e. I mean, it's just 3.5. I don't know about second edition. It may be 5e, but Pathfinder 1 is just 3.5, 3.75. So I don't care about it, and here's why. So it's Faerun. It's the same exact world from Dungeons and Dragons, but a less fucked up history. That's all it is. It's got the same gods and everything as Faerun, just less fucked up history. So I got nothing for it for Pathfinder. If I want to play Pathfinder, I'm gonna play 3.5, or I might play Weeby Goblins. Is it different 4E? Okay. Well, that's good to know. 4E was actually made to play online. But where they failed was using gamist terms. Like, they should not have made it seem like it was WoW. Yeah, exactly. You get to be weird with other people. Hell, that's 100% right. But yeah, as far as Pathfinder goes, I've never really looked into it too much. I just know that the world itself is a less fucked up Faerun. Oh yeah, man. I'll definitely check it out. Like I'm one of the few people that liked 4th edition. Okay, like I enjoyed 4th edition for what little I got to play of it. I got a buddy who's got every one of the books. Only thing I didn't like about 4th edition was having to pay for that fucking character builder. Cause yeah. But yeah, I mean, if it's a different 4th edition, then I'll try it out. Hey, buddy, we gonna get along fine. I hate Gambit too. Okay, alright, so brief story about 4th edition. Okay, so 4th edition came out, and the thing is this is in 2000. I'll say 2010 when it came out. Okay, so 4th edition was different. It was a very different game than the 3rd edition was, and 3rd edition was extremely popular. The problem with 3rd edition, 3.5, is it had like 600 books to it, so it was very hard for a new person to get into it. So they came out with 4th edition, and they made it like where every character is basically a wizard. Okay, every character is, they never really dropped in, like, stature. It's how the characters go. So, like, a level 10 wizard in 3.5 is a party replacer. You could replace everybody with a wizard or a magic user, a dread necromancer, whatever. So, 4th edition, they made it to where everybody was about the same going up. Everybody had daily powers. Everybody had like at-rest powers that they could use all the time. And it was retarded, to say the least. It wasn't retarded until Essentials dropped. But basically, once the... it was very gamist as far as the terminology goes. Like, I could show you a description from the 3.5 book and then pull up a 4E book and show you the same description of the same spell. And it goes from like that big of a paragraph in 3.5 to that, right, in 4th edition. So 4th edition had like a World of Warcraft like mentality to it, and a lot of people hated it for that. Okay, it was fun to play. I mean, it was extremely fun to play, and I still use rules from it for 5e when I'm running a 5e game. But it was just like the gamist terminology turned people off from it, so nobody played it. They kept playing 3.5, right? And then it got fully replaced. I mean, it's the shortest lived D&D that exists. It was just, it stopped being fun to run it, and then you had to buy this character builder to build your characters with. You had to pay $5 a month for this fucking character builder that they updated all the time, right? So it got to where you didn't even need the books. You just had to update this character builder to build your characters. And it was very not good. Well, no, I mean, that's where people started saying that they were an allegory for blacks, but it's not true. They never were, as far as it goes. From a certain point of view, you know, maybe a racist point of view, maybe they're an allegory, but they never really were. I can pull up the book. I can pull up 3.5 right now and show it to you. Like, I mean, there's no allegory in it. That's purely from the left's point of view on it. As far as that goes. Now, first or second, first or second, yes, they are. I don't like first edition. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like first edition. Second edition gives me a fucking migraine because I played 3.5 the most, and it's very hard to go back games as far as it goes. If you started with one game, it's very hard to go back to the older editions. I do like some things that came out of second edition. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a huge difference there, but I'm saying like that's not an allegory for them being black folks. That's just you know, like I said, that's from the left's point of view that they are. They thought that was the way in Tolkien, but it wasn't, because Tolkien hated allegory. But so, is there a standard D&D edition, or is it based on what the player wants or is into? Okay, yes. So there is basically every few years there comes a new edition, and it's not just an update to the rules; it's a completely new rule set. So you can't play 3.5. Somebody can't play a 3.5 character with a 5e character, stuff like that. It don't work like that. You can in World of Darkness, actually, because they're the same fucking rule set. But D&D is just the characters build differently. So yeah. But like I say, you gotta be reading it weird to get that out of it, really. They're very tribal in 3.5 too, but like I said, you gotta be giving it a weird read to get that. But so the current standard edition that most people play is 5th edition, because it's easier to run. It's baby's first RPG. Is what it is. But yeah, that depends on what the group is playing, 100%. Like, I would rather run 3.5 than anything, as far as Dungeons and Dragons goes. But L5R, I'm running 4th edition. If it's
World of Darkness, I'm running 4th edition. And old World of Darkness. I'm not running new World of Darkness at all. Okay, yeah, come on. Okay. Because I may be misunderstanding you there, man. Oh, you're in general. Okay. I'll hop over to that one. It's all good. What's up?
Hey, what's up? You got me?
Yeah, I got you. What's up?
Alright, so I went through all of the books from original D&D, first edition D&D, second edition D&D, third edition D&D, fourth edition D&D, and Pathfinder 1E. And from everything I've read, it's kind of with third edition is where all that stuff started.
Yeah. Like, like I said, I got it right here. So, it's been a while since I've opened up the book, though. You know, it's been a few years, like since I've opened up a 3.5 book. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's not there, but I'm just saying like that's like a weird read that the left gives it, as opposed to like, you know, what it actually says. You know what I mean? Like the savagery, the barbarianism, that's normal orc shit. But the whole racist stuff, though, that's not really there. As far as I got half orcs right here. This is the fucking player's handbook. This ain't the monster manual. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. It's definitely there in the in 5th edition. Like it's 100% there because of who wrote it. You know, but Wizards of the Coast wrote that shit, and then they regret writing that shit. Yeah. Like I don't know.
They kind of started all the crap because they actually.
What'd you say, man? I could barely hear that.
I said it all. Third edition was written by Wizards too, and if they're actually the racists, if you want the truth.
Oh yeah. But yeah, fuck Wizards of the Coast.
If you go back and you look at like the first edition Monster Manual, orcs are considered lazy.
Yeah.
And by third edition, all of a sudden, savage. All this craziness, and it's like, no, they aren't. They actually had. You know, they weren't the ruled by the strongest. They were ruled by the smartest and the strongest.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that the first edition, first through third, are the same exact world, right? They're the same exact D&D world, just in different time. 4th edition is a different world altogether because it's been destroyed by the spell plague. And then 5th edition is after that, you know.
Well, you're talking Forgotten Realms, so
yeah.
First edition, actual original D&D, its own separate.
Yeah.
And then first edition D&D is World of Greyhawk. Yeah. Second edition D&D is also World of Third edition D&D is where it goes into the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
And the Forgotten Realms is just an additional setting.
Yeah.
And that's what I always kind of argue with people on the Pathfinder setting is that Pathfinder setting, Valerian, is a little more based off of Greyhawk, not so much Forgotten Realms.
Oh, I'm talking. I was talking about the gods and stuff. You know, like I say it's a less fucked up Forgotten Realms. Like it has a less fucked up history than Forgotten Realms. Like Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, they're all about the same. You know, as far as like what is it? Greyhawk's great though. Love Greyhawk, but my personal favorite is Planescape. So.
Oh yeah, Planescape is awesome.
Planescape is my number one for me, and as far as the setting goes. So I don't really care for I actually hate Faerun too. Like I'm sick of Faerun. I want fucking like something new to come out, and then when we get something new, it's fucking Critical Role. So
Critical Role can go with hell, and then
Critical Role or fucking Eberron, and I'm sick of those two as well.
Yeah.
Like. Or fucking Harry Potter D&D, whatever the fuck that book was. Or Magic the Gathering D&D. Like, dudes,
kind of what 5e is moving into, is MTG D&D.
Mm-hmm. Like, give me some fucking, something besides those. Like, and then now they're gonna make Spelljammer, and I'm like, well, fuck you too, Like,
yeah, hope they don't touch Planescape. Just leave that alone.
Yeah, now that's what I'm saying. Just leave it alone now. I don't want you to make it now. Like, oh no, what's he saying? What's the hell saying? Have a PDF of Vampire the Masquerade book in the game, and if I'm correct, it's the same Vampire the Masquerade the same vampires in D&D, right? No. Vampire the Masquerade is a whole different universe. D&D vampires are like, they follow like the old laws of vampires. So you've got the master vampire and then the servant vampires under them. They're very weird. Curse of Strahd, before they updated it and they made the second version of it, that took away all the good shit out of it, was decent. It was a decent update, but then they updated it further. So gypsies can't be gypsies, apparently. I hate 5th edition.
It's different. It's more D&D the Eastern folklore, like the Eastern European folklore, versus Vampire the Masquerade is more of a thing.
Yeah, Vampire the Masquerade is modern. It's a modern day game most of the time. There is a Dark Ages game, which is okay, but it's a completely different game altogether than D&D. Like, if you want some lore, the Gentleman Gamer, like, go check out his videos of all the clans and stuff. And he's got some really interesting stuff that he talks about as far as the clans and stuff go. He's also got werewolf books, werewolf clans and stuff, and all of those are covered by the 4th edition. And he's actually a guy that writes for the 5th edition of it, and he wrote some of the 4th edition. So definitely check out the Gentleman Gamer if you're curious about Vampire the Masquerade, unless you just want to jump into it one day like I did. Jump in head first, because
that was one of the things I loved about it. See, I'm white and Native American. Excuse me, and I like how they kind of jumped back to Native for the werewolves.
Yeah. Like, I love that. Like, it's especially the 4th edition version of them. Like, they're the best version of all of them. 5th edition, I'm afraid that I have not played 5th edition vampires, so I don't know how they've done things. It seems like they've kind of taken a new wide stance with it. Really, I don't like that. But I definitely like the Utina. They're one of my favorite werewolf tribes. Like, love the Utina and the Wendigo.
Wendigo are.
Yeah. But like, my all-time favorite are the White Howlers. The Dead Clan, the Extinct Clan.
Yeah,
I love
they
it.
they were good too. I like the going in and out of what was it called, the Umbro,
Hmm.
where they would go kind of like into the place between the planes. That was dope.
Oh yeah. Like, man, look, we could be here all night talking werewolf and stuff, and we might have to one night. But
Yeah, I'm glad I was just able to get my point across because I didn't feel like in chat.
right,
But I did that whole deep dive, and I was gonna make a video out of it to debunk the racist thing and Gygax was racist. So I went and pirated a boatload of PDFs just to read up on all that. And what I actually found was that the 1E Barbarian is so different from even the 3E Barbarian.
yeah,
It's not even close. And one of the things that, and with that, I mean, like the third edition, fourth edition, fifth edition Barbarian, just mostly Rage Beasts.
yeah,
Whereas first edition, they were based off of like Norse. And
yeah.
so it was like your average, Norse warrior rather than this Rage Beast that's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Like I remember like the deathless barbarian build, right, from 3.5, Deathless Frenzy Barbarian. You're so pissed off that you won't die, but
Yes.
like I mean, but once you calm down, you're probably going to die from it. So it's like, what's the point in that, right? If you don't like build that properly, and that's the problem. That's the biggest problem with 3.5 is you had to power build, right? You have to power build depending on what you're playing, because if you don't, your DM is, and your DM's gonna wipe you out.
Well, it's not even that. It means like I ran Rise of the Peoples, PF1 AP Adventure Path, and it was it's written to, if you're not power building, your characters are gonna fight.
Oh yeah. I was telling the story one time of me playing my Dread Necromancer. Okay, and I don't know if you know the build or not,
I don't.
but it's basically an army builder. So.
Okay.
You take a couple of items. You make sure you can get these items. By level 20, you're a lich. Okay, that's what this build does. At level 20, you become a lich. So you create zombies and skeletons, and there's pretty much some items that will double the number that you can have. Well, there's 3 different items that double this number. So the number you can have are like, like max is like 600 something. Well, you just tripled that number by having this, and it's just a huge army builder. But you don't even need the army with this build, right? You can go through the entire game and slaughter anything that boss throws at you, and unless they are built specifically to take you out, there's not anything that DM can throw at you really that can kill you, unless they're just built to stop you. And they don't realize it until it's too late in the game that's what they should have been doing, is building to stop you, not building to stop an entire party, because you're going to kill everything that comes in your way that is affected. I mean, it's so bad that you can make shit that's not affected by negative energy damage affected by negative energy damage. This is before necrotic damage, so which
Right.
Negative energy damage was so much more devastating than necrotic.
Oh yeah. And positive energy damage was so much more devastating.
Yes, 100%. Like, and the way this build works is you got a couple of spells that are just your go-tos, right? And you can pretty much just build to where you can double your spell slots and shit like that too. So, like, cast through your zombies, shit like that, So you've got it to where you don't even have to worry. You won't even get touched if you don't want to get touched. But it kind of follows it's like a Pellmaster is like the light version of this. So Pellmaster, they have the touch of death, right? Well, you've got Chilled Touch, and 3.5 Chilled Touch was broken as shit. It stripped anything that, and there was no defenses for it. It stripped
Right.
anything that it touched of dexterity.
Right.
And so you would instantly knock off points for dexterity every time you use this. And then you could hit them with like a necrotic skull bomb, which stripped levels from them.
Right.
And it stripped. It was a fireball that stripped levels from your enemies. Right. So if you rolled high enough with the damage, you were killing everything in one hit. You know, or making it where it wasn't even a threat anymore. Didn't matter what it was. And yeah, but I was telling the story where I went through the entire game. The DM did not plan on me doing this. I was the only evil, quote unquote, evil character in the party. Everybody else was supposed to be good. Oh, I had a black guard on my team, but like I went through and I killed every fucking boss that this dude threw, and I made every boss my fucking puppet afterwards. So I wasn't going after a little bitty shit to stack my numbers. I was going after dragons and whatever the fuck bosses he threw at me. And then it came to this one fight to where the party, there were 2 dragons in this dungeon, and this is why we came to this dungeon, was so I could collect those 2 dragons. Because I was building a makeshift zombie Tiamat, because we were going up to fight Tiamat. So I was going to throw her likeness at her to insult her. Right, just to get her raging, because Tiamat is a very vain character. So I'm like, I'm gonna throw a rotting zombie version of her at herself, right? While we decimate her health. Okay, so one of the characters goes on ahead in the dungeon and he warns the 2 dragons, and they escape me. So I was pissed. I was fucking fuming. I mean, in character, I was fuming. I was pissed off, and we got into a fight right there in the boss room, and the boss was a pit fiend. The pit fiend starts moving towards us, and I'm like, "You hold on a goddamn second. I'll deal with you in a sec, in 1 minute." And I'm sitting here arguing with this fucking dude, and the fucking pit fiend interrupts again, and I just blast him. Right, one shot this pit fiend and turn him to dust. And I'm like, all right, okay. So, are you sure you want to challenge me right here? Right. I mean, this was a level 20 game at this point, by the way. So I was already a lich. I'm like, all right. So are you sure you want to challenge me right now, right here? Cause I've got a full deck of spell slots here. Are you sure you want to do this? So he backed off, and later we were actually going into hell. So there was one demon that could open the portal to hell. That was on the plane. So they walk into hell, and I stay back, and I don't go in. Like, they had pissed me off to the point to where I was not even going to help them in hell. So they walk into hell, and I just disintegrate the fucking demon that opens the portal. And I'm like, have fun, guys.
Hey, it sounds like in 2E, Dwarven Fighter Cleric, played him like and oh my god, first level the GM throws a kobold, and I'm like, nah fam, I'm gonna stand back. And we had a choice of fighting these kobolds or an escaped velociraptor. So me and the rogue went after the velociraptor.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the party gets wiped by the kobolds, and it's just me and the rogue that took out the velociraptor.
Right.
And we ran from the damn kobolds like this.
Yeah.
Took out 2 fighters, a wizard, and another fighter. That character ended up going to 20, and ended up. I didn't one-shot a pit fiend, but I one-shot a witch.
Very cool. It's kind of funny what I did with my phylactery. So we were in a beach town, right? And I put my phylactery in an unbreakable box, and then I just dropped it in the ocean. Because I didn't trust the players, because they were already adamant that I was evil. Right, I was lawful evil, but they were stupid good. Right, I mean they were just like, there was a fucking town near this beach, right, and there was a cancer mage on the loose. And if you know anything about like the cancer mages, they're bad. You don't want to fight a cancer mage unless you've got a way to deal with a cancer mage, because they'll bring every fucking disease you can even imagine on your character. So I'm like, I'm a dread necromancer. I'm not worried about your fucking cancer mage, right? So, but they hear cancer mage and they instantly go paranoid. So they start butchering the fucking town. Okay, they butcher this entire town, and then I'm like, army, like, hey, you guys killed them, I didn't. I just don't like letting shit go to waste, so I've got an army of zombies now, army of skeletons.
Oh man, so what's your favorite alignment to play if you're gonna, and do you use alignment?
It depends on the game. Most of the time, like 5th edition, I don't see a point in using it. But like, I like playing against type. Like, I've played a blackguard that was a better hero than the heroes.
Yeah.
And the way he got his powers was he was descended from an Azamar, so he got some divine powers from that. She was an Azamar paladin in like a previous game that was played. So my character was a descendant of hers, but he was very arrogant. And like, I've described him as like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast meets Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but he was pretty much lawful good or chaotic good, however you want to. He would flip flop, but he was a good character as far as it goes. He had a moral code. Like, I wouldn't kill any minions. Okay. They had to be a higher level enforcer, somebody that was giving orders before I would kill them. And like the party could not understand this morality. Like, and I'm like, well, you can always turn your enemies to allies, if you show them some mercy. It's just kind of that mentality, very heroic mindset as far as it goes. But I was a blackguard, so like. But in 5e, if you go with the Unearthed Arcana Blackguard, the Paladin of Trickery, it is very much an army killer. That's what it's for, is to kill armies with. And you make the armies turn against themselves, right? So you hit somebody, you say, okay, you make somebody on the opposite side hit their friend instead of hitting you, right? It's just a trickery build, but you go infinite with this build. That's why it's not an official build. I was just playtesting it, but it goes infinite with like 3-5 does with cleave. It'll go infinite, and you will butcher a fucking army, depending on how you build. So, like, and I actually sent this into Wizards, like, hey, this build goes infinite. You guys should know that, before you release it. But I mean, like I said, he was very much a hero type of character, and then he didn't match with the rest of the party. If you heard me and Quirky talking about it, then we were talking about, I don't know if we were talking on here or not, but we have talked about it in the past. We were in that same party, and she was playing a Dryad, and it was me, her, and one other one. We pretty much formed a little trinity there, while everybody else were kind of off. There were two characters had main character syndrome. Let's put it like that.
Oh, okay, I hate that.
And then there was the 3 that should have been the main characters, because they were the more entertaining characters. One of them was mine, but like, we didn't suffer from that. We were just kind of doing our own thing, but my character was very much just full-on hero mode. Like, that was his goal, was to be the greatest hero in the world.
I usually go like lawful neutral because I see them more as the lands.
Mm-hmm.
They focus on all the lands, so I usually go that route, or I'll just go straight up neutral build. Those are just Those
Yeah.
are my two characters.
Yeah. Normally though, if I'm running the game, I'll ignore it. I don't give a shit about alignment. Unless
Okay.
it's 3-5, I'll kind of go with okay, yeah. If we go with alignment, we're playing in my own world. It's not fucking Faerun or any of that shit. I'll run a 3-5 Planescape game, in Planescape alignment matters, right?
Right.
If you change your alignment too much, the Lady of Pain don't like that. And she'll come spank you for changing your alignment too often, because you're throwing her world out of balance every time you do. Like in the planes, your alignment actually matters, so I actually use it there. But other than in the planes, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'd be excited to play because I haven't actually played it for 7 years, and we've been like forever GM for the last. So when you get something going, definitely let me know because I definitely want to play it.
Okay, yeah, I like it. I'm working on it right now. I'll have something going on Roll20 here in a little while. I'm actively looking for players right now for that one, and it's going to be it's World of Darkness system. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't played that in probably 10.
Say what? Say that again, man. You kind of broke up there.
Oh, I'm using a crappy headset mic.
Okay, I got you.
But I haven't played World of Darkness in probably 10 years.
Okay. I mean that's fine. It's just that's kind of the rule set, but it's not based in the World of Darkness universe. It's my own game. It's actually my masterpiece as far as it goes. I've run this game one time and it's by far the best game I've ever ran. So I'm running another version of it. So and I'm trying to I'm going to get this published. I'm going to get the system published under Onyx Path since they made an open license for the World of Darkness games. I'm going to try to get it published under them. But I'm also going to write a book on it and a comic book, and I plan on doing like an animated thing for it. So every version of it though is like a different timeline that all take place within the same world, not different universes, but a separate timeline.
Right, that sounds kind of interesting. I've kind of got an idea for like a D&D type game. I'm working on my Western pulp, kind of more than that.
Okay. And then I've got the Godzilla game, which is you're playing a tribe member, basically that worships a Godzilla monster. Yeah. Okay. So it's like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like there's a Godzilla tribe. They worship Godzilla. There's a King Ghidorah tribe. They worship, and I say tribe, but they're more, depending on where you are, it could be Japan or wherever. It's but basically, like the Godzilla tribe is split into like half a dozen different followers, different styles of Godzilla that they worship, like from the original Gojira to Millennium, all the way up to the legendary Godzilla, right? So they all worship a different Godzilla. And then there's Mothra, but they're kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender. So one person out of them is born as the champion of the tribe, and they become basically the avatar for the soul of the monster. So they kind of develop powers based around that monster. And it's kind of mixed with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of interesting too.
Yeah. I've got that one, and I've got a bunch of games, man. I will run any of them. Like I said, I just I don't want to run Star Wars ever again if I can help it. Like I've had too many bad experiences with Star Wars, just far too many to want to run it, and I really want to run the games I love, which is L5R, Dungeons. I'll run Dungeons and Dragons. I just don't like the basic ass Faerun settings or anything like that. If I'm gonna run one, it's gonna be, you know, either a good setting or my own setting. As far as that goes, like the Godzilla game is a 5e game, but it's very, very different than a regular. 5e is just the easiest system to run it on. It's the only reason I use it. Which I may look into Pathfinder and redo it. You know, Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of second edition. I like a lot of things I'm here too, especially the reaction economy just really blows a lot of things. Gives you move, hit, move.
Yeah.
Move, hit, move, and allows you to be a little more cinematic when you're playing. And I enjoy that. It's still very tactical. Pathfinder's very tactical, but it gives you a little bit more usage of time and a little more cinematic in the way you do things.
Yeah, and that's why I like World of Darkness so much, because it's a very cinematic game.
Yeah.
Right. You can make, and the combat is so much quicker than any D20 game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I love fast-paced combat in the D&D game, and it worked the best for my Grim game as far as it goes. And like I don't say too much about it because I am trying to turn it into a book and stuff. But my players, you know, you get to play in it and you get to see, you know, bring your own version of a character. Which this is, like I said, this is my masterpiece. I played it one time and I ran through it one time, and it was so fun. Like, it was bloated as shit. The first time it was bloated, but I've got it set up as a trilogy of games. So the first game is, like I said, Cthulhu monsters versus fairy tale creatures, the children of fairy tale characters. So, like the son of the Big Bad Wolf, or the daughter of Sleeping Beauty. You know, whatever, however you want to do that. And then the next step is actually a twofold game. So it is, one set is in the past. It's a prequel to the first game, and then the other set are another group of heroes in the present, while the group of heroes that survived the first game are kind of the mentor characters for the younger heroes. Yeah. And then the third set is on Earth, and that's all I can say about the third one. But it's a trilogy, and these games run like a year and a half apiece.
Dang.
Yeah. So, and I've ran 2 parts of this before. I haven't ran the third part yet, but I'm going to retell the first 2 parts because this is my and the way it goes is the first game still actually happened according to history. This is just the next timeline over, because the way this world works is it's a world of stories. So every time those stories are retold on a massive scale, the world resets. Like, if it's fully accepted, like, this is the story that gets, as it is on Earth, then it gets retold. The world resets itself. So every time Disney makes a fucking remake, right, if it's accepted, it gets, you know, rebooted. Because it's a world of stories. And the Cthulhu monsters are just invading they're stories invading from another world.
Okay.
Yeah. So think about that. They're just invading monsters because that's what they do in their story, is they invade other worlds. Right? They invade Earth. So that being said, alright, later, AJ. But yeah. So just because they're stories and they are bound to what happens on Earth, right? if the stories get retold on Earth and they're widely accepted as the real version of it, then it gets. And these are the most retold stories ever, are fairy tales, right?
Right.
So, which version is the true one? The Grimm one? Or the 900th retelling where it has a happy ending?
It's definitely a good concept.
Say what?
I said I really like that concept.
Yeah. But it's a way to handle timelines and changing stuff like that without actually, you know. And I also have a rule, like, you can't go to a world that's unfinished. So, if the world is being, if say the author on Earth dies before the story is complete, then you can't go to that world because it's an incomplete story, right? The characters from this world have to wait until a story is complete before they can go to any other world. So, yeah, and it's just, I mean, it won't be one-for-one changes. Like, the Disney retelling won't be a one-for-one change to this world. This world is still a very dark and brutal world, but it does make it less fucked up. Let's put it like that. It might still be dark, but it's not as fucked up as, say, the original Grimm stories. And I have it set to where, okay, so the first story that was ever told was the story of Gilgamesh. So, by that logic, that is the first story in this world, is the story of Gilgamesh. Like, the Earth gods are in this world too, because they were kind of fairy tales before fairy tales. So, they are, you know, they're here, they're there as well. They're the gods of this world, or were the gods of this world. And that's kind of how I've got this one set up. And I'm the type that if you pull a Earth god into a D&D game, it better be on Earth, right?
Right.
Like, if you pull Zeus into a D&D game, you better be on Earth in that time period. But this world is a world of stories, so it's different, right? And,
Well, also with Planescape though, you can pull Zeus in.
yeah, but you know, if you pray to Zeus on Planescape, the Lady of Pain is gonna butcher Zeus if he appears. You know, Lady of Pain don't give a fuck about your gods.
Right.
Like, fuck Vecna for Vecna tries to take over. He's the only one that even stood a chance, and he lost. Like, she butchers fucking gods for fun, for stepping foot on her world. You don't fuck with the Lady of Pain.
Nope.
If we're playing Planescape and you see a damn giant shadow coming your way, you get the fuck out of the way.
Right.
You start making dex rolls right there. If her shadow touches you, you are fucking filleted. That's how badass this character is. No stats. No fucking stats on this character, which means you can't kill her.
Right. There's a few of those.
Yeah. Cthulhu has stats. She don't.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, I mean, if you want to play in it, man, you're more than welcome to. Like I said, this is open to the community. I'm gonna record it, and I may have to make some changes to the characters once I write it down, but it'll at least be in one version of the media. Maybe the quote unquote audiobook version, which is what the recording's gonna be. But they're all like, nobody can say like you're adapting this incorrectly, right? Because there's no fucking adaptation. They're all the same world. They're just in different timelines. And then my timelines actually make sense. So, you know, but you didn't adapt this cartoon right. Yes, I did. That cartoon takes place in this timeline.
Right.
That the book takes place in this timeline. Right. The RPG is the basis for it, so it's a separate timeline altogether. It's
Right.
just like, I mean, it's kind of a really long. It was a really long process creating this game. Actually, it was like 4 years. I had created it before I even got anybody together to play it, and then we played it for a year and a half for the first one, stopped for 6 months, and then played the second season to it, what I called it, and yeah, it was extremely popular. And then the third, we were going to do the third, but that group broke up, so they got to play in one timeline for it.
This is the one in World of Darkness, right?
Yeah, it's using the World of Darkness system, yes.
Okay.
And that's just because the World of Darkness system works for it, pure and simple. But yeah, like I said, I'm getting people together. So if you want to play in it, man, you're welcome to. I'm always accepting players. I'll fit you in somewhere for sure in one of my games. But I'm always accepting players. Trying to, like I said, if I could get paid to play D&D all day long, every day, I would.
Right.
That's the dream right there. But I don't know. It gets the creativity flowing too. Playing, and I haven't been able to play in like since COVID started. Not really. I haven't been able to actually run D&D like full on like I want to. So.
Oh, I see that you could download like the Werewolf the Apocalypse and Mage books free PDFs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do use those books in this, so like I would I will post a link to the game in the in the Discord.
Okay.
And you can click on it and join if you want to, and then I'll get you a character stuff, and we'll talk about it later off video. If I say any more, I'm gonna kind of start saying more than I can about it. Luckily enough, though, if I say too much on a stream, then I can always pull the YouTube copyright. If I see somebody pulling some bullshit, I can always do that. So, be warned, motherfuckers. I got this shit copywritten. And I will pull that motherfucker. If I catch some fucking Matthew Mercer motherfucker running this shit, it's
right?
on.
Especially his bitch ass.
Especially his bitch, yeah. Like, I am not a fan, bro. And
not a fan of him either.
Like, we'll get along fine then, man. We will get along fine.
Oh yeah, we're fine. I might give you a little. I might mess with you a little bit here and there now that we've actually talked.
Oh yeah, man.
Look, here and there, though, and then, what's up, Dr. M? I might pull something like that. Just no, I'm just being a troll for about 10 seconds, and then I'll go back.
Oh yeah. I mean, Hale does it all the time. He'll bring up Dr. Manhattan when I'm feeling good and just fucking make me rage out right there.
I know, I love him.
Like, look here, motherfucker, look.
Yeah, going back to the comic book thing, man, I just cannot stand Gambit. Oh my god, talk about the high school bitch boy that is trying to get into girls' pants and keeps it.
Oh yeah, I hate Gambit. I've hated him since the original, since the X-Men cartoon. Like, I've always hated Gambit.
I just can't stand him.
Mm-mm. We will get along fine, then, bro. We get along fine.
I had my shittiest GM moment is I had a dude created a character based off of Gambit, and I had to kill him as fast as possible.
Okay. I was running a Marvel game. Okay, and this
Oh,
was
no.
a Marvel Universe game based on the Strange system. Okay, so
Okay.
just because
Okay.
it's easy to run, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had X-Men set up, we had Avengers, you know, and this was like 5 or 6 people playing all the characters in the
Okay.
entire universe. So, fuck you, hell. Post my donate link. You're gonna get me demonetized tonight. Post that link. But anyway, so we had this, and you'll get to meet this guy if you play with us, because he'll play with us. Anyway, so he picks up Gambit, and we're running the X-Men at the time. We would change out which we would run at night, and it would all build on the world itself, you know, a lot better than Marvel is actually doing now. Everything we did actually mattered to what you were
I think
doing.
my
with everybody
9-year-old
else.
granddaughter could write Marvel better than Marvel's being.
I mean, yeah, probably. But anyway, so this dude, he never has luck, right? He does not have any luck with any character he plays in this game. I mean, he's rolling ones every single time he makes a roll, right? Just terrible rolls. Dude gets on Gambit and he starts rolling 20s.
Oh no!
Like every single roll he makes is a 20 or what? I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Roll 20 likes Gambit. Like, I mean, like, he got past the X-Men's defenses, right? And we had the, you know, like the old where it pops out of the trees and shit and starts shooting at you, you know, all that kind of shit, right? And he just gets past all that fucking defenses, rolling that 20s, and I'm like, you motherfucker, you pick up Gambit, you pick up a fucking character that I despise, and you are gonna roll better than anybody else in this fucking system. And nobody could ever touch his rolls. That's the bad part. If he was playing Gambit, nobody. So I stopped running the X-Men shit just to kind of put the fear of God back in him. Like, damn, like, I can't do shit. Here's Thanos.
Right?
Thanos is gonna show up now, you know, just because of you fucking just decimated my shit with Gambit of all characters. Like, it's fucking seething over here. But no, it was pretty funny, but I hate the character.
I can't see you. Like I said, I had to. This guy was playing a rogue, basically. He was playing like a trickster, mage trickster rogue. So he was able to, you know, to simulate. I had to find a way to get rid of him. I don't remember what I did to get rid of him. I'm just like, oh, you're done. You're done.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's like I despise the character of Gambit. I despise Dr. Manhattan. I hate a lot of characters actually, but like it says above me, hate you can trust, right?
Right.
I hate what they've done with Doctor Who. I'm not a fan of anything anymore. Right? Like,
I'm not either.
I hate to say it. I'm not a fan of anything anymore, except, you know, like Eric. Really, you know, Eric. I'm a fan of Rippaverse because it's at least something new. You know.
Yeah. He's restoring my hope in fandoms. But I'll be honest, just because. I think I said this on Twitter one time. I said, you know, somebody was like, "Well, I'm just a big old movie," and I said, I replied to them and said, "You know what's great about the Clippers is that we're all normies right now.
Yeah.
Not no jack until we get this foot." And that person replied back, "It's a good way to look at it." You know, it's like, yeah, this is restoring my faith in fandom.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we get to argue. We get to discuss shit again, right? And we're already called racist and all kind of other shit anyway by the other side. So what the fuck do we care? We can discuss what we want to discuss here, right? And about this universe.
Lucina, we're about to fight. That is wrong.
Damn it, one really. They're trying. They're trying to get me to demonetize myself and start throwing gamer terms.
Well, just with the gambit being most powerful,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stand for that from very long.
Like, I don't have time to fight with y'all tonight. Like, I gotta be up at
Oh shit, so do I.
I've got to be up at 5 in the morning. I don't have time to fight with y'all tonight. And then I got to be in costume for 2 to 3 hours after I work. Yeah.
I gotta jump off. My wife is...
All right, man. Well, you're welcome to join me anytime you want on here, man. Like anybody else is, you know.
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much for letting me come on and chat with you.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Anytime. All right. Peace out.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I've had a lot of fun, and I've already gone an hour over what I planned to tonight. So I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for coming and chatting with me tonight, guys. Who were here for it in the chat. I know you just popped on one, but you can always go back and watch the video. Tonight's pretty entertaining, I'd say so. We covered a lot of shit tonight, but yeah, y'all were trying to get me cussing before I go to bed tonight. But anyway, guys, I've seriously got to go for sure. Eric, it was good having you on, man. I appreciate you. Anybody who wants to come on, you know, if you're a part of my community, you are welcome on here. Anytime you want to come on. I'll be around tomorrow night sometime. I'm probably gonna have to pass out once I get out of costume because it's gonna be hot. Okay, it's gonna be fucking hot tomorrow. And I told him I told him 6 months ago I would do this. It's for a charity thing, so I'm gonna go do that. And I will be, like I said, I don't know what time I'll be around tomorrow. Whenever the fuck I wake up. But later DCC, later one, hell, everybody, y'all have a good one. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace out and rock out, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.